ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of our Android Tip Calculator tutorial. I know it's been like 3 or 4 months since I've updated the series, and I apologize for that. I've just really been busy with other things. But I'm very happy to be back now, and working on this tutorial again. Right off the bat, I'm sure you've noticed a few different things. First off, I got this neat intro video, as well as a neat new logo for my YouTube account. And for those of you who are curious, I got the intro at intromaker.net and the logo at freelogoservice.com. Both very affordable marketing service providers for things like your YouTube account or whatever. I thought I'd take this thing a little bit more seriously and invest in some marketing. Beyond that, I'm sure you've noticed that my voice sounds different. So for those of you who don't know, I've always used pretty heavy voice modulation in my videos. And that's just because I'm super subconscious about how I sound on the mic. But what I used to do was I just changed the pitch of my voice in Audacity. Now I got a new headset, the Logitech G930, and it has built-in voice modulation, so that's what I'm using. I've heard that sometimes this can make what I'm saying hard to understand. To try to mitigate this, I'm going to start trying to implement subtitles or captions in my videos. I'm not sure on this one yet. I'm going to see how long it takes to put captions in this video, and if it doesn't take too long, I'm going to put them in all my videos from now on. And moreover, I'm going to get rid of the background music. I've heard people say that sort of interferes with understanding as well, so the background music you heard in all the other videos, that's going to be gone from now on. What else is new? I got a new computer. So you probably won't notice this much on your end, but for me it'll make producing videos a lot faster. So you might be able to see videos a lot faster too. Oh, and beyond that, one major thing is that I switched to a different video recording software. I'm using Camtasia now. I used to use Cam Studio, which was an awesome, free, and open source recording software. Unfortunately, it just did not do all I needed to do in an easy enough way, and I did run into a few bugs with it, so I decided to switch to this paid and professional software. That said, I still think Cam Studio is an excellent piece of software for those of you who can afford Camtasia, and I'm definitely going to use it still for a lot of different stuff, just not these videos. So yeah, new recording software, new mic, new voice modulation, new logo, new music. None of that is super important to this tutorial though, so let's get down to why we're here. This tip calculator tutorial. So, as you may recall, we ended at a point where we got the calculations working, the tip working, the tax working, the total working, and the split bill working. So basically we had all the core functionality down. Basically we had all the core functionality down. And I felt like that was a pretty good natural stopping point for us, fortunately. So from this video on, it's going to be a new chapter, and it's going to focus on bonus features that are extraneous to the core functionality of our tip calculator. But before getting into that, I just want to point out to you guys that this is actually a good point to stop watching my tutorial. And I say this because I really believe that the best way to learn how to program is to experiment on your own. So rather than continuing with this series, you may want to consider either finishing this app on your own, or better yet, scrapping this app or just closing it out and starting a new app of your own design and seeing where that takes you. I think you learn a lot faster doing that than watching videos or reading books. And if you get stuck, I think you basically have enough information to research bugs and problems on your own and figure things out on your own. So this is a good opportunity for that. With that said, I'm still going to continue the series, and if you want to stick around, that's totally okay, and you're more than welcome. For this next chapter, what we're going to focus on is a couple of things. So none of these things that we're going to code in this chapter is going to be vital to the app, but they'll provide some value to the user. For instance, This used to just say customer right here. Now when we create a new customer, it'll randomly generate a name. Which, you know, I mean, it's basically useless, but I think it's pretty cool. Also, this rounding button, currently it does nothing in our app. By the way, this is the finished app that I have on the Play Store that we're looking at right now. So it basically does nothing right now. So let's see an example. That's a bad example. Okay, the tip is $15.75, and say we want rounding. We click this button, it goes up to $16. We click it again, it goes down to $15.75 again. That's something we should implement. The reset button, this thing. Currently it does nothing. We want to implement that so that it properly resets the app. Also, the random fortune cookie generator. We want to make sure that that works. Beyond that, we want to make sure that our app has some better aesthetic value. So we're going to add some random background images here to our app to make it look a little nicer. And finally, we're going to add this is a stupid feature, but I think it's kind of funny. So have you ever heard of the thing where you add the words embed to any fortune cookie, and it just, well, I'll show you. So this one says, you should be able to make money and hold on to it. Okay, that's a bad example. You will be successful in your work. And you add the words embed to it, you will be successful in your work in bed. Right, okay, it's stupid, but I don't know, I think it's hilarious. Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm in bed. Like, come on. Every flower blooms in its own sweet time in bed. I don't know. Maybe I'm just super immature, but I love that. But yeah, those are the things that we're going to work on. So, if you want to stick around, please do. And, you know, we're going to spend a few hours on these features probably. And then we're going to move on to chapter 5, where we go over publishing and promoting our app. And that'll probably be a short chapter. And then after that, we'll be done. For those of you who want to continue on your own with your own stuff, please, good luck and have fun with that. You may want to skip to chapter 5 if you have time, just because that's the sort of stuff that's harder to pick up on your own. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna point out that at this point, this calculated tutorial of ours is 7 hours long. So that I think is ridiculous. That's like a few weeks of college level class. If you take out this setup tutorial, it's 6.5 hours long, which is still really, really ridiculous. So that's why I wanted to have a natural stopping point, so that you could stop here and move on to something else if you wanted to. And, you know, if you want to stick around, we'll probably boost this up to 10 hours by the end of chapter 5, I would guess. Yeah. Also, not a huge fan of the new YouTube layout. I haven't had time to fix up my channel with the new layout yet, so that's why it looks terrible. But, yeah. And by the way, thanks for continuing to subscribe and watch my videos, even though I haven't come here in like 3 or 4 months and commented and all that. It's good stuff. Thank you for the support. So yeah. Oh, one last thing before we go. I'm going to do this new thing where if you go to my website and you go to the tutorial. Oh, by the way, I've updated my website to break down all the tutorials into parts that match and correspond with the YouTube videos. But if you go to the website and you go to a particular part, at the end of the tutorial, there's going to be a link to download the source code and the source files at that point in the tutorial. It's not here because I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to add it tonight or tomorrow. It's because I think that's a lot easier than copy and pasting the code itself. I'm just going to have the file in a zip format. Just download that and look at it for each part of the tutorial. But yeah, other than that, I think we're ready to go. For those of you who are leaving, you know, it's been fun. For those of you who are staying, I'll see you in the next video. Alright, have a good day, people.